So anyway, a recorded statement, I think, is one of the most valuable tools in the adjuster's tool belt. And a lot of times we don't do it anymore for a lot of reasons. And so I thought we'd talk about A, before we hit record, before we start off with is this, recording made with your knowledge and ask permission and that sort of thing. We talk about like what we need to do to prepare before we hit record.
I think some thought needs to go into whether or not you want to take a recorded statement.
Mhm.
There is some philosophies out there that maybe you know what they're going to say and you don't really want that on the record.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And we don't really engage in that here. If I'm working with a defense attorney, sometimes I'll get that vibe where they're like, ask them this, but don't ask them this,
Right.
that kind of thing. And we're not wired that way. We've never been trained to do things that way. We've been trained to just find out everything we can
Right.
because a decision has to be made. And if there's some hidden little thing that we don't want to talk about because it's going to hurt the case, I think you need to get it out there because that's going to help you make the right decision
It,
eventually. It's
I
going to
always
come out anyway, you know.
That was the point that I was just getting ready to make is look, ask those hard questions. And this may be one of those advanced kind of techniques because I know that newer adjusters, I was this way when I was a new adjuster and a rookie. I was always scared to ask those hard questions because I was either afraid that someone was going to yell at me or it might be bad for the case. But you have to remember as an adjuster, what your job is to pay the covered claim. And you can't do that if you don't know what really happened. And so if you have some bad information, you need to get it out in the open and decide what to do with it.
I think so, and I think most carriers would agree. I think there is, like I say, defense attorneys. They're in kind of a different bucket.
Exactly.
Their job is to minimize the damage as much as possible. So I get that approach, but they're litigating this, so their mindset's a little different.
Yeah.
We
If
are fact gatherers.